The so-called Nazi salute saga continues.
This week, podcaster Joe Rogan responded and had a message for those on the left who blasted Elon Musk for his awkward gesture during a recent speech. Here he is.
This is the Donald Trump excuse. You do anything you can to stop Hitler, right? And this is why they want to conflate, and they always want to pretend that everyone's Hitler. The problem with that is it just, after a while, it's crying wolf, and people are like, oh, this is a game you're playing, and you're just using it as an excuse. Elon's talked about this a lot about, and he's absolutely correct, is that people use woke ideology as an excuse to be an and it's really just people that are attaching themselves to things that make them feel righteous. And so they wrap themselves in this idea to give them virtue and to allow them to say the most awful things about other people that have different perspectives. And then just by nature, if you're doing that, you're doing the wrong thing. You're a bad person. You can justify it all you want. You can find people that agree with you all you want. But those people also are on the right track, or the wrong track, rather. The people that are listening to you and agreeing with you, they're on the wrong track. They're the wrong track if we want to be collectively a kind, compassionate, cohesive society, a community of human beings that all live together.
Moreover, BMW UK made an announcement which many presumed was in response to this gesture by Elon Musk during a recent speech.
The company wrote on X on Wednesday, "We're no longer posting on X. Don't worry though, our customer support team is still here if you need us. You can also see all the latest BMW news by following us on Facebook and Instagram at BMW UK."
Republican Senator Mike Lee wrote on X, "BMW equals becoming more woke. Don't buy their cars."
You're not going to be buying that BMW you had your eye on now, Amber?
I wouldn't buy a BMW anyway. I heard the maintenance on them is terrible.
I hear so. So look, I don't have much time for Joe Rogan's argument as it pertains to Elon. I think he's right in the broader sense. I think that, complaining about woke ideology is an argument that you can have about various things that could be considered excessive. I think that in Elon Musk's case, if you don't want to be accused of making a fascist-style salute, don't make a fascist-style salute then. I found that gesture ridiculous. I don't think it is implausible to argue that he was giving that kind of salute. It was such a weird gesture, and I don't know what is in his mind, nor do the people who defend him. But I think that there is a separation between what Elon Musk did, which looked for all the world like one of those kind of salutes, and a broader issue about wokeness or demonizing people with whom one disagrees.
I saw a video recently of Emmanuel Macron giving his heart out to the French people, and he did almost exactly the same gesture. I was actually shocked by how similar it was. But amazingly, when he did it, nobody accused him of being a Nazi. So
well,
I guess
I've been more focused on the idea about various right-wing people on Twitter posting still photos of someone holding their arm out, and when you see the video, it is not remotely resembling the abrupt and aggressive gesture that Elon Musk did.
Right, which is why I gave the Emmanuel Macron example, which I think you should watch the video. But I guess my follow-up for you would be, you say it's not implausible to think that Elon Musk would be giving a Nazi salute. What makes you say that?
Because I think he has exhibited a sympathy for far-right individuals and for far-right parties. I'm thinking specifically of his support for the AfD in Germany. And I think also in relation to Britain, we talked about this earlier in the week, he has supported, for example, one individual who was, in my view, quite rightly charged for inciting violence toward a particular mosque on social media. And I think that that is understandably and correctly a crime in the United Kingdom, and Elon Musk dislikes that. I also think during his proprietorship of X, it would certainly appear as if very right-wing voices that were previously removed from that platform have been put onto it. So I don't think it is, I think that the context of someone's behavior matters, and I think the behavior and views of someone like Elon Musk versus the views of someone like Kamala Harris or AOC are not comparable.
What do you think the line is between someone being right-wing or even far-right versus engaging in Nazism?
I don't necessarily care what the line is. I think that the point is that the question was, why do I think Elon Musk might have done that? And my argument is, well, why do we not consider the context of his political views? And he has suggested that people are being unfair to him. He has never, to my knowledge, said he hasn't done it. That wasn't what he was doing. He has implied it by complaining about the criticism that he received.
Well, he did say on X that he was trying to give his heart to the crowd. So I think that's about as much of a rejection as you could ask for. But what I'm getting at with my question is that you must believe that there's some view that's held by people on what you're describing as the far right that makes it plausible that they could be engaging in Nazi symbolism. I'm trying to get at, like, what are those views?
I think that the views of the AFD are expressly anti-Islam and anti-immigrant. I think those are far-right views. I think that the raising up of people who are obviously on the far right in Britain by Elon Musk and the support for them, the belief, for example, that Nigel Farage, one of the most far-right figures in conventional politics in Britain, is somehow too soft, and that the Reform Party, which is Farage's party, should be overtaken by someone else. The question of I don't think Nigel Farage is a fascist, for example. I think Elon Musk clearly exhibits right-wing views that are going increasingly far right. And I think that gesture was a absurdly inflammatory gesture that, if you look at historical footage of those salutes, bears an extraordinary resemblance to.
See, the problem I get into here is that there's a significant portion of the American populace that believes in an immigration moratorium, who has legitimate questions about immigration from majority Muslim countries. And so when you say it's far right and you could be accused of being a Nazi if you make the wrong hand gesture, if you believe in those things, you're potentially smearing probably 30 to 40% of the American population, not to mention that the majority of people who voted for Donald Trump probably share very restrictionist immigration views as well.
Well, I mean, if you take his support for the AFD in Germany, for example, the Central Council of Jews in Germany called that party an extremist party that, quote, embodies Nazi ideals. Now,
I guess
in
I would ask for
November
specifics,
2023, when somebody talked about how Jewish communities have pushed, quote, hatred against whites, Elon Musk said, "You have said the actual truth." So the point is that he has a history of views that I personally consider noxious, but that I think are objectively views that belong to the far right. And therefore, that is why the gesture that he made is called into such question.
But there's a lot of people in modern political discourse who are well-respected members of the Republican Party who would say that there's discrimination against white people. And I don't know this.
Because of Jews? Would they say it's because of Jews?
No, I didn't catch that part. That obviously is not acceptable. But
well, why did he say that the person had said the actual truth when they said that then?
Can you read the quote again?
The quote was that someone had said that Jewish communities, quote, have pushed hatred against whites. And Elon Musk responded saying, "You have said the actual truth."
I guess I want to see the full quote because I noticed that the quote mark didn't come until after Jewish communities, so I wonder if they're reading into that. I'd like to see the actual quote, but I don't know this organization. Is it similar to the SPLC, which...
No, this isn't an organization. The first quote that I read from the Central Council of Jews in Germany was an organization. The thing about Jewish people having pushed hatred against whites was something that occurred on X or on Twitter. I can't remember which it was.
I'm going to find the full quote of that, but I find it not entirely convincing that group has accused Elon Musk of apparently espousing hatred against Jews, as the Anti-Defamation League has defended him and said that
it has. I think I understand that we're having quite a heated discussion, but I just want to be clear.
Sure.
The Central Council of Jews in Germany accuses the AFD, which Elon Musk supports, of being an extremist party that espouses Nazi ideals. There was a separate controversy when a person on X tweeted the quote that
and Elon Musk quote tweeted it,
and Musk tweeted it saying the
Gotcha. I suppose I'm just skeptical of the characterization by groups that I'm not familiar with saying an accusation against a political party that I'm not familiar with, because I've seen how that happens to American political parties, and so I'm very cautious about that. I've seen how the SPLC has labeled friends of mine as far-right extremists or Nazis when it's not the case at all. So I want to look into the details of that myself before I make that determination. But I do think it is worthwhile, though, that the Anti-Defamation League says that they don't believe that Elon Musk was intending to make a Nazi gesture. Does that carry any weight for you at all?
If we get into a discussion of the ADL, we'll get into the whole Palestine question, because I don't think they have wrapped themselves in glory on that, to be very mild about it. They have on occasion cited the wearing of the Palestinian keffiyeh as equating to a wearing of the swastika, which I don't agree with.
I don't disagree with you on that, and that's what I think actually undergirds the point even more, which is the fact that they're so willing to call out anti-Semitism even when it's not there, that the fact that they recoiled at people accusing Elon Musk of a Nazi gesture is what made me think this is the group most likely to go after this guy, and yet even they think that the criticism is a bridge too far.
Yeah, I think people on the left would say that the ADL has been sort of cozying up to Trump and Trump world, but I think we may have to leave. Maybe we can get back to this subject some other time. That's a good discussion. Up next, more strong words, this time from James Carville for the former president, Mr. Biden. Stick with us.